Geeking Out. I'm your host, Moose. With me is my co-host, The Sleaze. Also, we have our normal guest, Tony, with us. You can contact us at geekingoutpodcast@outlook.com for comments, show suggestions, bumpers, what ifs, or anything else. Today we will be going over the last 3 Rebel episodes titled Kindred, The Crawler Commanders, and the mid-season finale, Rebel Assault. We also have our first what if from our audience, a post on YouTube from Bobby Jameson. But first we'll be going over some info on the new book, The Legacy of Luke Skywalker. Basically, I read the whole book, or listened to the whole book rather.
Yeah.
It is about him, but it's all perspective stories from other people or other beings and stuff. So someone's here,
like the New
for
Testament,
example, they have the Return of the Jedi in Jabba's palace, and there's this weird organism that's talking to Leia and stuff, and it's from that organism's point of view when Luke comes in and stuff. So it's not him walking around doing things. Well, he is doing things, but it's always from a different perspective.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Some stories I can do without, but overall I think it's pretty good just to add to everything. I thought it was going to be more of him doing things firsthand, but it's from other people's perspective basically.
Yeah.
Other characters' perspective.
Right.
Okay.
But even a lot of characters don't even know, and one of the first stories, not to get too much into the book, is from an Imperial I think engineer or something like that. And she was saying that the Obi-Wan and Han Solo and all that stuff were actually, for lack of, I don't know exactly what you call them, but they're pranksters, and they always did all this shady shit to get by, and they weren't actually heroes until the rebellion made them heroes, just to get some sympathy and stuff from the public and stuff like that.
So it was really she's trying to say that it was propaganda.
Right.
Really weren't
and the Death Star wasn't real and all this other shit.
Oh, Jesus.
So it was pretty interesting to hear, but it was sort of funny because, not to ruin too much of the book, but Luke was literally sitting there the whole time and just questioning her, not being an asshole because he was still a Jedi or whatever, but just being oh, well, what about this? What about this? What about this? And then he walks away.
Yeah.
So it's sort of funny. But I mean, if you want something to listen to, I'll definitely listen to that if you guys want. And then we can talk about more on the show.
It's definitely on my list right now. I'm concentrating from a certain point of view, which is the same kind of thing. It's basically it started off on Tatooine with a bunch of different perspectives of the different characters on Tatooine as the movie progressed, and it seems like the perspectives progress through the movie with the movie, I should say.
Right.
It even gets to the point with the stormtrooper or Obi-Wan's these aren't the droids you're looking for. Just move along, right? I would say so far that one was one of my favorite stories because the stormtrooper that's telling the story is just so disgruntled and just talking shit about the Empire the whole time.
That's good.
It's kind of hilarious. I mean, not in a laugh out loud kind of thing, but there was a couple of points in the book where I'm
Yeah.
It was pretty good. A lot of those stories are just I don't care.
Yeah.
And really, at this point, I'm just trying to get to the point with Yoda, because I know there's some stuff with Yoda.
Right.
And Qui-Gon Jinn. Oh, there was I just did it. One of them has one of the early ones is Obi-Wan Kenobi talking to Qui-Gon's Force Ghost.
Oh, nice.
Um,
I hope they have that in the Obi-Wan movie if they actually
go.
make one.
Yeah.
Not to interrupt you, but
I'm not going to reveal any more about that because it definitely, there's something in it that tells you that Qui-Gon knew what was going to happen to Obi-Wan at this point already. I'm coming to see you, Elizabeth, kind of thing. Remember that?
Yeah.
But so far the book it's pretty good. I wouldn't say don't read it. Some of it's really fun. I'm not done with it yet, but really at this point I'm just waiting to get to the
Yeah.
Yoda part. There's one particular story in it that is just horrendous. It's just like it's a character talking to a droid, a mouse droid, and they keep going over like a systems diagnostic, literally line by line. Are your wheels okay? Is your chassis okay? Is your antenna okay?
Jesus.
It's like, we needed this many pages in this book. Okay,
Yeah.
here you go.
So I
We're
mean,
just gonna fill that in.
it would be fine if they did it once,
Right.
but I got to the point where I was just like, skip, get to the next part of this audiobook. I can't deal with it.
Yeah, I
anymore.
just started Phasma. I only got about an hour in so far, but it's pretty good so far. So,
I have that
Phasma.
one and Ahsoka on the list.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah,
so,
I wanna get that
I
one.
heard someone's gonna get that.
Ahsoka, apparently
Someone?
there's some new canon on lightsaber crystals. So
Nice.
I just want to check it out for that in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely be reading that. And the one you said before, the Empire Rebellion, brother and sister thing, or whatever the story.
Which one is that one?
I forgot what it's called, but I'm gonna be reading that one too. I got that one. Forgot what it's called though.
There's one I'm kind of in the middle of, Before the Awakening. That one?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Anyway,
Lost Star? Lost Star?
I think that's what it's called. That sounds familiar.
That one was really good. It's about like these two.
Are they brother and sister, or are they
They
friends?
are not brother and
Okay.
sister. They it's not. They are into each other, but
Oh,
they
okay.
end up on
So
different
like brother
sides.
and sister. You saw Empire, right?
It's like Game
That's
of
how they
Thrones.
roll in this
Yeah.
fucking galaxy.
Star Wars and Game of Thrones. It's
Yeah.
creepy. No,
Lightsabers and incest.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they end up on different sides of the. One's becomes a rebel, one
Yeah.
becomes an imperial, and I really like that book. Like I said before, I mean, I got through the whole thing, and there was not even a mention of a lightsaber being ignited once in the book, and I was just like, I got through a whole Star Wars book without lightsabers? This is crazy. But no, it was really good. I like that one. I like the different perspectives. I like how the Imperial character justifies it. I'm not saying I agree with the justifications, but I can understand why that person would feel that way
Right.
from that perspective. I think that writer did an excellent job with that book. And they should give him or her more books to write if they haven't already.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the Luke book. There's one from, I think it's Jakku, and they have the fight, like the Empire and Rebellion have the fight over Jakku. And when
Which book is this?
The Luke book.
Oh,
Um,
okay, yep.
So in all, like, obviously you see in Force Awakens, all the ships on the surface and all that stuff.
Yep.
One of the survivors has a meeting with Luke, and they go over all that thing. I don't want to give too much away if you actually end up reading it, or
Yeah, I will at some point.
other people read it or something like that. But it's interesting because it's from her perspective, and again, Luke's just there, and oh wow, and she has the whole thought process like, oh, he's gonna kill me, like I'm gonna be a hostage or something like that, and then goes through whatever goes through, and then it's pretty good though. That's one of the stories I enjoyed.
Going back to that video game real quick, there are like 3 Imperial characters in that video game, and one of them is actually trapped with Luke
Yeah.
for a certain amount of time. There are 2 characters, the female and one of the male characters actually end up together. And so I guess the buzz now is that those 2 characters are Rey's parents. So I'm not saying
who
it's,
isn't Ray's parents?
Yeah,
At this point.
but it's the newest.
Shorter
It's
list.
the newest
Yeah.
buzz, whatever. I'm not saying I put any stock in it. But
Right.
It's whatever.
Also, too, I'm not sure if it's in the book or the game, but I forgot where I heard this. But they basically show Luke finding the compass that brings him to Actu.
In the game.
Right, in the game.
Yeah.
That's where it is.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I've watched the footage from the video game, and basically one of those characters, Imperial characters, goes into this area to destroy it because it's all old Jedi artifacts.
Right.
and Luke and that character kind of go on this, not adventure, but they kind of got to go through these caves together because they can't survive it alone, each one of them. So at the end, Luke goes, "Hey, I'm not gonna stop. I know your mission is to blow this place up. I'm not gonna stop you, but I just want to take this. Is that cool?" And the dude's like, "Yeah, I guess so."
Yeah.
It's crazy how much they're like intertwining video games, books, and all this stuff with actual real important things. If you care about Star Wars, so it's like you have to play everything, you have to watch everything, you have to read everything. It's fucking nuts.
Oh, it's genius because
It is genius because it's great for marketing and money
Multimedia platform,
and comic books,
books,
everything.
books,
It's fucking
comics,
nuts.
everything.
comics, books, video
Cartoons,
games,
everything.
cartoons,
Everything.
toys.
I have to quit my job and just read about Star Wars.
That's the
Sounds
dream.
good to me.
Okay.
Subscribe here.
Make it so we can quit our jobs.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. All right, so we can get into the episodes now, unless you guys have anything else to bring up on those.
Oh, that's cool.
All right. So the first one's called Kindred. The beginning is Ezra J. Kell, the guy that he saved from the Imperial compound or whatever, and Zeb. They moved to secure the TIE Defender's hyperdrive that you remember Ezra and Sabine hid before the Imperial recovery team could find it. But Thrawn has already dispatched Ruck, which is guys you remember in the trailer. Yeah, the assassin. He's like a ridiculous tracker sort of thing. So he quickly finds where they are and realizes Ezra and Jaquel, even though they're dressed up in scout trooper armor, that they're not real fucking troopers.
Yeah.
Right.
So he tries to attack them and kill them, but they ended up jumping on a speeder and getting away. And so he chases them and tells the Governor Price to, Zeb's still around, look for him.
Just to reiterate what a good tracker Nogris are and what good sense of smell they have, in the books, the Thrawn trilogy, Legends, which is now Legends, the Nogri could tell that Princess Leia was related to Darth Vader just by the way she smells.
Right.
So...
Yeah, he smelled Zeb from 3 or 4 friggin' football fields, maybe longer away.
Yeah.
And what is Zeb's race? I can't think of his name.
I always forget.
Big blue guy.
Big blue guy.
Yeah.
Speaking about big blue guy, sorry. In a prior episode, they bring 2 elders of that race.
Yep.
Through the some supernova or something.
Through some kind of portal.
To their home planet.
Which is where they're really from.
Right. I know you asked before, is he really the last one?
He's not.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
And I didn't think of it then. I happened to see the episode again, so I was like, oh, well, I'll bring this up next time I can actually fucking remember to do it.
That's right.
So.
It's funny because when I asked you that was right before I started binge watching the entire series all over again. So.
Yeah, it's like you watch everything a little bit closer now because we had all these conversations.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It's great. So Zebin ends up taking one of the Imperial security not fortress but vehicle, and that's how he gets back to Ryder's base with the hyperdrive, which is sort of funny. So let's see. So Ezra and Jaquel actually get away, but Ruck throws a homing beacon on their speeder. So they end up finding, including the Empire, end up finding Ryder's base on Lothal. Essentially right before the Empire gets there and everything, Hera's going to take the U-Wing with the hyperdrive with Chopper to Yavin with all the...
She's going to try and get
right,
through the
she's going to get through the blockade, and she's going to get the plans of the TIE Defender and try to get the Rebellion's help to take over Lothal or attack the TIE Defender fortress, but production line and all that stuff, factory.
Which will tie in later.
Right.
Very important.
And you finally see Hera and Kanan kiss.
Whoa.
And what's, people making dramatic about that, the last time they see each other sort of thing. Who knows exactly what's going to happen with that. So very exciting. They've been pushing it this whole season very hard.
You've seen them. You've seen them be really close before, but never kissed.
Never making out.
I mean, like,
And what's funny, not to interrupt you, but what's funny about the kissing is it's actually almost the same time the Empire is about to attack them, and you see Sabine and Zeb like, "Hey, look at oh shit, they're about to get blown up, but look at these guys kissing. Holy fuck!"
we're about to die, but hey.
Yeah, this is worth
important.
watching. So I think they've been waiting for it too for a while. Even though I'm pretty sure behind closed doors they've been, whatever.
They have separate rooms on the Ghost, which I always found ridiculous.
Yeah.
But
Right.
I guess, I don't know. That's like back in the 60s sitcoms. Even married people would have separate beds.
Yeah.
Or if you snore really loud now, then they have separate beds.
Yeah.
Just get a partnership.
So Hera and Chopper get in the U-wing, and they fly,
Yeah.
and avoid most of the blockade. And what you remember, if you remember on the trailer, she actually goes light speed through like a construction dome,
Yes.
It's pretty awesome.
which is it's a cool fucking scene. It's pretty ballsy. So she does that and gets away and goes to Yavin. The rest of the rebels, they face the Imperials and pretty much get demolished. So they end up running to the mountains, following the Loth Wolves, and they lead them to a hidden cave that's like strong with the Force and everything. And Governor Price rather, calls in like the TIE bombers and stuff like that, and the cave's about to collapse. And the Loth Wolves actually lead them through like this force portal thing, and they end up on like the other side of the planet somehow
Exactly.
through it. And
Which
It was a
explains
cool
why
sequence.
they haven't seen Loth Wolves and yada yada.
yeah, like
yada
hundreds
all
of
the
years
time.
or whatever Ryder
Right,
says.
right.
And the place they teleport them to or whatever happens is like an old place where the Jedi originally came on Lothal, and you see like paintings and stuff of the Lothal Jedi Temple.
Mhm.
So it seems like that's where they first went, and the Force is strong there and everything. What's interesting about it, well, not just that, but what's interesting about the Loth Wolves, they keep on saying Doom, 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 Doom,
Which is Kanan's real.
which is
last
Kane's
name.
real name, which is Caleb Doom, and obviously
Yeah.
is Kanan because he's hiding from the Empire, and so no one knows his real name. So this whole time, we were thinking Ezra's the key to the wolves or whatever, and really it's Kanan
Right.
that's there, and we'll see where that goes as far as that whole thing, but it's definitely interesting.
Yeah, it is.
And the end of the episode, that's pretty much the end of the episode. I was thinking about the next episode. But yeah, that's the end of the episode.
I was gonna say. Wait, what did I miss?
But what's cool is the wolves actually like moonwalk back into, it looks like through the portal again, and then the rock gets solid again. So it'd be, I'm not sure exactly like how, they seem very strong in the Force, like
Definitely.
some Force animals. I'm not sure if they're gonna actually like be a bigger role, like in the whole destruction of the TIE Defender factory, what the case may be. So that's definitely an interesting thing.
Yeah.
And wolves are cool generally, so it's cool to see those. So the next episode is Crawler Commanders. And after the rebels have taken shelter in an ancient settlement, they discover a mining guild ore crawler stripping Lethal's surface for raw materials passing by. If you remember when they first come to Lethal, not first, but the last time they come to Lethal, you see like the grass burning and the planet burning and all that
it's
stuff. And
this machine.
that's what these things are doing, is burning everything. We got interrupted. Hold on. We
We have a special guest.
got a special guest.
That was our special
Got a
guest.
special guest. The monitor for
appearance.
babies.
For babies.
For babies. Come here, special guest.
Are we gonna ask?
Yeah.
Are we gonna ask Obi-Wan some questions?
Obi-Wan
Sleeping.
sweet.
Yeah, say goodnight to my son. Hold on. Good night, Lucas. His name's Lucas. It's true. I'm not even lying.
Say it, yeah.
Crazy. Be dedicated. Love you. Good night. All right. Take it.
Come on, take it. She's our secret producer. Oh, there she
Look
is.
at there's
There she is,
interruptions.
kids.
Look at this is what happens.
Hopefully, you have to delete this one again too.
No.
Wow.
No,
She wants
this
us
is
to
part of
delete
the episode.
episodes.
This is
No,
staying in.
this one's going fine.
Wow.
She's like, I don't want to be
Look at
associated
it.
with all these
Looks
nerds.
like she just has a head because her hair is like docking the space. This is our fourth guest.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Her name's Samantha.
Samantha.
You ready to answer some questions about Star Wars?
All right. What do you think about Crawler Commanders? Sounds like a good position. All right. See you later. Have fun. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for stopping by.
All right. So back to real stuff. So you remember coming down from Lethal, burning and all that stuff. That's the mining guild or crawler that's doing that.
And they find their buddy, the Deveronian guy.
Right. So they decide to hijack it, and like what he was saying, long story short, he's in a little ahead in the episode, but it's okay. He'll host this episode.
Give me that.
So the crawler's captain's like some cool lizard race. I'm not sure exactly what race that is.
Is he
Dude.
another kind of Trandoshan?
He might be. He looks like some like
He
ones
looks
they.
more froggy though.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know if they like, oh, this Trandoshan sucks. We're gonna throw him to the wolves or something, and he somehow survived.
Yeah,
Like
I
he
don't
just
know.
doesn't. But you're right, because you do see a Trandoshan, like the guy that's running the slaves and stuff. So maybe that's
The
maybe
guy
it
with
is.
the whip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Huh.
But he does seem more like tropical frog in us to me a little bit than he does
Right.
Trandoshan.
But he still has that weird voice like the
Yeah.
Trandoshans do.
Maybe he's like a subspecies of
Hybrid.
Trandoshan.
Well, since the Trandoshans are always like capturing Wookiees, maybe they ended up falling in love, and that's what came out.
That's disgusting.
Interspecies sex.
Yep.
Hairy lizard.
Yeah. Hairy lizard.
Hey, it could happen.
Sounds like a Doors song. Jim Morrison, right?
Not gonna go through that door.
Uh,
So anyway, the rebels take over the crawler, and they, go down to the hull where they hear some noise, and they actually find. Guy he was talking about, Visago, the horn guy. Again, I can't think of his fucking race. of course.
Deveronian.
Deveronian. This
Deveronian.
guy will be here all day. And Visago, the comedic part of this whole episode is he thinks they're there to save him, and they just play along essentially the whole time. That, yeah, that's why we're
Yeah.
here, to save you, not to fucking take this thing over.
He
You're a
figures it
fucking
out,
hero.
though.
Yeah, eventually he figures it out near the end of the episode.
Dumbass.
So while they're on the ship, they trick some Imperial patrol that they're just there to be working and all that stuff. So they leave. In the meantime, Hera asks the Rebellion Council, whatever you want to call it, to come and help Lethal, and they like, oh well, you're not fucking important enough. Get the fuck out. We'll talk about this. And eventually, Hera's like, fuck this, and she goes back to the council and says, you gotta fucking do it.
Speech.
Yeah, nice speech, and finally, at the end of the episode, Hera calls Ezra and Kanan and all of them, and says Lethal's gonna get attacked. Be ready on the ground. So that's how the episode ends.
Yep.
Is that they're gonna actually attack Lethal finally.
Yay!
Yay.
So after a full season basically.
Death and explosions.
Genocide. Great.
So that's the end of that episode. The mid-season finale, Rebel Assault. Very creative name.
Wonder what happens.
Hera leads a small fighter force to attack the TIE Defender factory on Lethal. Finally, you see the X-Wings in the flesh that you saw in the trailer that everyone was excited about.
Oh yeah.
So there's a combination of X-Wings and Y bombers. Y bombers? Y-Wings?
bombers?
Y-Wings. Yeah,
Y-Wings.
Y bombers. Like, they bomb. Are they
Y
Y bombers?
bombers? Why not?
Y bombers. You gotta bomb stuff. That's why you have bombers.
Exactly.
And they actually release, while they're in the space and stuff, they release a TIE Defender. And because of her heroics and piloting skills, they actually friggin' defeat the TIE Defender and punch a hole through the blockade around the fall. And in the same time, the rebels are on the ground, blowing up like the air defense towers and stuff like that. So of course, everyone's like, "Oh, this is fucking great! Oh, look at this going on." But Thrawn, being military strategist, excellent commander, whatever you want to call him, he has all these TIE fighters waiting for the rebels once they get through the atmosphere and stuff, and they pretty much get demolished, and every single ship gets shot down.
Right. Because Thrawn's a fucking genius.
So smart.
Smart. Very smart.
So the rest of the Ghost crew and riders see the ship's on fire and crashing, and they decide to run away because they can't really do much. But Kanan turns around to try to save Sahara.
Yeah.
But on his way, he gets stopped by the Loth Wolves.
So he's on one of his those speeder bikes. He
Right.
sees the Loth. Well, he doesn't see the Loth Wolf because he's blind. But
He almost like runs into it, and he goes like head first over the handlebar, so to speak.
Exactly.
And, that's what happens with him. But he doesn't actually get back to Lothal or the city that they're going to, because the Loth will stop him for unknown reason, aside from maybe trying to save him for a bigger purpose or something like that.
And the wolf says it again.
Right.
Right?
I believe so, yeah.
Doom. And then he's like, okay, what do you want? And then it switches to Hera, right?
Right.
At this point?
Yep. So Hera is pretty messed up. Her and Chopper survive. Her arm is hurt, and Chopper's long-range communication is broken. They find Mart, which is another rebel pilot, and they try to escape the Empire and Rack, whatever his name is.
Rock.
Rook like the chess piece, I think.
But you see, yes, sure, Bishop. But you see Hera actually hold her own against Rook.
Yeah.
This is like the Kylo Ren all over again.
Yeah, it is.
So she actually has some hands and like holds her own against this assassin
Hell
guy.
yeah.
Like actually probably wins the fight overall, like all the different instances.
I was pretty impressed by that.
But she,
Chopper comes in and helps a couple of times too.
yeah, but she's
But yeah,
pretty good for her.
it's all her.
But she eventually gets captured as Chopper and Mark escape in the tunnels under Lothal. So she's captured right now, and Mart and Chopper go in the tunnels that you see in the prior episode and go up through the same opening with the Sabine emblem or whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
And Canyon's waiting there instead of Ryder this time, and helps them out, and it seems like they're going to safety or whatever.
Yeah.
And I believe that was the end of the episode.
So it leaves you with a big what the fuck moment. Like,
Pretty much.
where did Kanan and the wolf go, and why didn't he go save his fucking girlfriend?
Right. And I was disappointed that it was only one episode.
Yeah.
Up to this
Yeah.
time, there was 2 episodes. I'm like, okay, where's the next one? What the fuck? I want to see what happens. But it's a perfect way
Fucking
to,
with you.
yeah, perfect way to end it, so to speak, until who knows when the next one is.
Right.
Most of these 2-parters had a little bit of a cliffhanger from the first one.
Right.
But this time, like you said, they only gave you the first one. I'm assuming there's one more episode to wrap all this particular
I would think
shit
so.
up.
I mean, this seems like perfect ending for Kanan. He does some, sacrificial lamb sort of thing to get Hera out of there.
Yeah.
Obviously, we already talked about it, but Hera and Chopper survive. So, I mean, again, knowing what happens in the future is sort of shitty for the storyline, because somehow, some way.
I'm not sure if I'm saying it right. Twi'lek, are they genetically compatible to have children with humans? Because I know in Legends they're not.
I'm not sure, to be honest.
I don't think they've addressed it yet.
Undressed it.
Well, Kanan's undressed it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. That'd be interesting. How would it look?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
How would
kid
how would their
look?
little
Like if the kids
Like
like
a little
in,
spawn.
the kids in like Last Jedi or something.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Twi'lek with short little lecus coming out of their head?
No, the biggest thing
He's
that's
blind though. He inherited that somehow.
yeah.
Genetic now.
The biggest thing you got to think about now is everybody's going to start dying. I mean, it's inevitable at this point.
I mean, like on.
Except Hera.
Well, except Hera and Chopper.
I think there's only 3 confirmed episodes left. I mean, there could
That's
be
it?
more, but I mean that could be that's it. So I mean, the next one, like you said, could be just the ending of this one, which to me probably means Kanan's going to sacrifice himself
Yeah.
for her. He loves her, blah blah blah, and that's like what we talked about before. One of the only things that he would sacrifice himself for. No, I don't think the rebellion. I think the Ghost Crew and her, and that's pretty much it. Obviously, she's part of the Ghost Crew, but
Yeah.
you know, he wouldn't sacrifice himself for the rebellion. I don't think so.
No, oh, yeah.
No, it's going to go to the trend of, I think, with, like Obi-Wan pretty much giving himself up so they could save themselves. So I think they're going to follow that. That's the big rumor with Luke, is that they're thinking he's going to do that, eventually.
I hope they don't.
Like Qui-Gon and that whole...
Yeah,
way they've done
I
it.
hope they don't, because it's just like we complain about Force Awakens being the same as New Hope. It's like how many parallels can they make?
Yeah,
Like just copy
yeah.
it.
Those honestly are starting to annoy me.
Yeah,
It's like, there is some originality in Force Awakens, but I mean the whole, timing of it and sequences and stuff.
I mean I can see why they did it to be safe and
Right.
catch you, put you on the hook, so to speak, again.
Yeah.
But I mean they could have did a little bit more, obviously.
Right. Yeah.
So was
As a
anything
standalone-
else for those 3 episodes?
No, just that big what the fuck moment,
Yeah,
with Kanan
what's gonna
and-
happen?
Yeah.
The thing is too with Kanan, like he seems content with his decision not to go get her right now. So
Yeah,
I don't know
he
if there's more
seems-
dialogue with the wolves or something after, like you don't see obviously, but
He seems oddly calm
right,
and...
because he was pretty frantic, like I gotta go save her. I don't care, like it might not be the right thing to do to you guys, but I gotta go.
Right.
And then all of a sudden it's totally changed, calm. Let me save freaking Chopper and Malt or whatever his name is.
That's an excellent point.
Probably knows he's going to bite it. That
Hope
calm
not.
before the storm.
I hope it's a happy ending for everyone, but I don't think there's gonna be.
No, it's not. It can't be.
Or at least, like I said before, there's a completion to these characters. It has to be. I don't want to be thinking like, oh, what happened? It's just annoying.
Yeah.
Because, again, they already said it's going to be the last season, blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, you have to finalize it, so to speak.
Right.
So, you guys want to get into the what if?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. So, again, this is Bobby Jameson.
Jameson.
And on YouTube. So, again, you guys want a what if show topic, Geeking Out Podcast at Outlook.com, on YouTube, on iTunes, Twitter.
Get your what ifs in now before we have so many that we have 2.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Might have another one. You guys better watch
What
the
ifs?
fuck out. So his what if is word for word. When Anakin jumps over Obi-Wan and Obi turns him into Darth Torso. What if Anakin, during the jump, lands a kill shot on Obi-Wan? Obi-Wan stumps him, but gets caught in the head by Anakin's blade. Or Obi-Wan stumps him and Anakin Force pushes him into the lava with the one arm he had.
So,
Either way, Obi-Wan dies.
so first
Yes.
of all, that is a totally shitty way to go. You just cut off somebody's arms and legs, and their lightsaber accidentally falls on you and kills you. From you
Well, no,
fucking-
his one arm was still good. Remember, he had his metal arm that was crawling, trying to crawl up with.
Oh,
So I
okay.
believe he means that arm
Oh, I see what you're saying.
somehow.
I think it was funnier. Mine was a little
Yeah.
funnier, but yeah.
It's like in his mouth, his teeth.
Yeah.
He's like
I
somehow.
thought he just dropped it on Obi-Wan
Yeah.
accidentally and
Like a
killed
mic
him.
drop.
Told you not to underestimate my power.
So Obi-Wan,
Is dead.
either way, Obi-Wan's dead. However you want to cut it.
And Anakin's
So
still fucked up.
Cut it.
Padme, Panda Bear, she's up on the.
Padme, May, baby.
She's still passed out on the whatchamacallit,
Yep.
which means when the Emperor shows up, he's gonna have Padme and come get Anakin. So basically,
Oh yeah, I didn't even think of that.
Right.
like, my question would be is like, what is Palpatine How is Palpatine going to use Padme as leverage to Darth Vader? Because now he has Padme.
Or he might not give a shit and still go down to get Vader.
Or I guess a better question would be, would he use Padme as leverage now, or would we just kill her, like the way?
Well, he was saying that he thinks he killed her, so I mean,
yeah.
why wouldn't he just kill her anyway?
Right.
Yeah.
But I wonder if he would
Just do a Walter White.
Yeah. I wonder if he would even care about her.
Who?
Like Padme, would she
Palpatine?
just eventually she would just die on the planet.
That was my first. That's what popped into my head first. I was like, what's gonna happen with Padme? Because she's actually there. Because R2D2, C-3PO are there. Are they gonna pull her up on the whatchamacallit? I don't know.
Yeah, R2D2. I mean, you see the droids fly the ship how many times?
Right.
If they figure it out, they could just take off as well.
Maybe the droids escape with Padme.
But you got to think,
twins.
just what if, whatever. Maybe Yoda sense Obi-Wan's dead, and he gets there around the same time or before Sidious does. So he, they fight again, or he takes the ship or something.
Palpatine finds Padme, and he's like, "Ooh, more Force babies."
That was my.
Yeah.
That was going to be mine. So let's paint this scenario.
But they only can be two.
What do you mean?
Only 2 Sith at a time.
Yeah.
Okay,
So once they grow up, one of them's gonna have to kill the other one.
So my scenario would be, he still uses Vader for what he needs him for, to wipe out the rest of the Jedi that are hanging around, keeps Padme around, can manipulate basically the development of the kids,
Exactly.
through the
Yeah.
dark side. So when they're born, they're literally dark side users. They're strong in the Force, but they could be manipulated by Palpatine. So by the time that happens, then you basically eliminate Vader, I would assume.
Ooh.
You don't really need him.
Well, you got to think too. That would be the perfect way, more than saying that he killed Padme, to get him to fucking sign the fucking dotted line, so to speak, of the dark side. Oh, look, your power, you turn the dark side. You saved your fucking wife. You saved your kids.
Right.
That would be more, I think, than killing them off.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
And now he's got Vader
And-
and 2 kids.
And Padme's,
Right.
Padme's so, fucking wet between the legs for Anakin. She would just go along with it.
She
Oh,
would.
this is wrong.
Nah.
I don't care. I love you anyway.
Yeah.
I think
To a
Palpatine
certain-
would kill her off somehow.
Yeah.
She wouldn't last. She would die either way in that
Maybe. But I think she's just fucking stupid. I mean, this is a creeper kid the whole fucking every single movie. She knows she's not supposed to love this guy. Gets married to him anyway. So what is her limit of being stupid because of Anakin?
I think regardless she dies. I think Palpatine has no use for her whatsoever.
I think she would die in childbirth. Just
Maybe the same way.
Even if she didn't die in childbirth the same way, I'm sure Palpatine would make sure she died in
Right.
childbirth.
Yeah.
Those were air quotes for people listening who can't see me do the air quotes.
Probably be about the same scenario. The only difference is that the kids would be born in front of Palpatine in the Empire's
Yeah.
hold.
Another callback to the Dark Empire comic book. Palpatine brings Luke Skywalker over to the dark side, and by the end of the book, he's trying to bring in Leia, because Leia is pregnant with what's the first one?
Kylo Ren.
No.
I know.
Anakin.
Jason Solo.
Oh, Jason Solo.
She's pregnant
Anakin.
with Jason
Yeah.
Solo. But
Pregnant with her
Palpatine's
father.
One of the kids' name was
Palpatine.
Anakin.
Palpatine's grand scheme in this was to transfer his essence into Leia's baby.
Right.
Vagina.
But the baby defeats him.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, in Dark Empire,
Just crawling with a little lightsaber. I remember
Palpatine is already dead. Palpatine's already dead, but he's in a clone body,
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
a clone of himself, which they all keep deteriorating because of one of his
Testicles.
royal guard made one of the scientists put a flaw in the DNA of all the clones. So each time, I mean, Palpatine had tons and tons of clones made, but each time he pops into one, they don't last very long because of that one flaw. in the DNA. So Palpatine's like, fuck all these clones. I'm gonna get me a fresh new real baby to zip into, but the baby ends up defeating him.
Yeah.
So you think there's any ground to stand on as far as Yoda getting there around the same time or anything? I don't think he was...
Depends
Her.
on how far Mustafar is from Coruscant.
I don't see why not, because Yoda is already hooked up with Bail Organa at this point, and Bail Organa is friends with Padme, and if he's like,
So I wonder if there
Go
would be
this
like
way.
a final battle between them two, Yoda and Palpatine, like to the death.
and Nubby Anakin,
Yeah.
Palpatine, Yoda,
I hate you! Trying to crawl.
Nubby Anakin.
And I think Yoda, like, obviously a fight is a fight, but Yoda not on the bottom of the Senate would be a lot more even versus Palpatine than, getting freaking seats thrown at you and all this other shit. So I think it could have went the other way with, if there was a fight relatively on even ground or something.
Like open space,
Yeah.
too. Not in a room, basically.
Yeah, Yoda was doing fine on level ground.
And he was doing fine all the way to the end.
Yeah.
He stopped everything he was doing. He just got blown back, and he probably sensed the clone troopers coming and all that stuff. And he's like, okay.
Yeah.
Peace out.
But
I
of
definitely-
course,
I definitely think Yoda could have got there in time. I mean, it's
Yeah.
definitely possible. I wouldn't rule that out.
that'd have been cool to see in the movie,
Yeah.
like an actual obviously Yoda survives or whatever, but just to see that fight to its finality.
Oh, Yoda would have to kill Vader, too.
Yeah,
Probably
but
have to
Vader's
finish
not
him
much
off.
of
Yeah.
You mean like this? Oh.
yeah.
Just
You're
kick him
dead
into
now.
the lava.
If Sidious didn't help him, he would have died
Oh,
anyway.
he would have died
You know what I
anyway,
mean?
yeah.
You know.
It's that scene from what's the Christmas movie with the I want a Red Ryder BB gun? I'll shoot
Christmas-
your
Christmas
eye
Story,
out,
yeah.
kid.
Yeah.
And Santa pushes him down.
Yeah.
It'll be
yeah.
just like that. But he goes into lava.
But I guess in that scenario, you could have a good outcome. You could have a bad outcome. You could have the Palpatine, taking the kids and Padme and all that stuff, or you could have Yoda coming to save the fucking day and defeating Palpatine, and so it could go either way.
Well, I was totally not thinking about the Padme thing, like she was still on Mustafar. So my idea was that Luke go to Dagobah and start his training from a baby level instead of when he did.
Yeah.
So that was my thought, but I totally fucking didn't think about the
Well,
Padme
Yoda wouldn't
thing.
have to be on Dagobah after that.
But I'm saying if Sidious still won, but the
okay.
kids were still the kids, obviously Luke wouldn't be going to Tatooine with Obi-Wan watching him because Obi-Wan would have been dead.
And I never thought of that before. Why wasn't that the plan to begin with? Why wasn't it the plan for Luke to be dropped off at Dagobah? Like when he was, let's say, 10 years old.
I think Yoda had enough about kids.
Oh,
Fucking teaching youngins for 1,000 years. Fuck these kids. I don't
Need a
want to deal with them.
fucking break.
Yeah, I need a
But I
break.
mean, if he was the only hope, or New Hope, or whatever, pun intended, why wasn't that the plan? Drop him off. Yeah, he can get raised, but up until he's 9, 10 years old, we're gonna scoop him up and we're gonna drop him off at Yoda.
Maybe it was one of those don't put all your eggs in one basket kind of thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just shooting from the hip.
Yeah.
But they had Leia the whole time too. I mean,
Drop
one
them
was
both
on
off with Yoda.
Yeah, but one was in Alderaan
So
and one was in Dagobah.
So obviously, the most logical course of action here is Bail and Yoda show up. They scoop up Padme. Bail adopts both kids, and they hire Yoda as a nanny.
Yeah,
I mean,
I could see him in a little little skirt and the nice little
cute
outfit.
little outfit. Yeah. Maybe a French maid
dusting
outfit.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, he'd
look
be a
at
nanny,
that!
not a maid. He'd be a nanny, not a maid.
Yeah.
Or a Yodi.
A Yodi.
Whatever.
Yodi.
But
So yeah, so definitely a good what if either way. So keep
Yeah,
them coming.
yeah.
Soon we'll have 2 maybe.
Maybe.
ooh,
Um,
I can
and feel
barely
free
keep
to
track of him now.
feel free to post again, Bobby.
Bobby Jameson.
Bobby Jameson, Kylo
Jameson.
Ren, Kilo.
The
Keanu
next
Reeves, right?
Rock.
podcast will actually bring some Jameson and have a
Yeah,
toast to Bobby Jameson.
There you go.
we'll drink to you.
Yeah.
Our one commenter.
You commented too, so that's good.
I don't think I count.
Makes sense. So you guys want to go over one more what if?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So at the end of season 2, I believe, when they're on Malachor, on Rebels, and Maul finally comes back and he tries to get Ezra to be his apprentice. What if Ezra decides to become his apprentice? What would happen?
That's a terrible one.
Okay. Here you go, host.
So
You got to think. They were trying to get the weapon, like this, the Sith weapon or whatever, from
that
the
big
temple.
ship thing. It would have
That I don't think it's on these notes, but it was supposed to be like the Destroyer of Worlds or something like that. Was like what it was. So it was like a ridiculously powerful weapon.
Yeah.
So they would have had that. Obviously, would have had Maul's power and Ezra. Like who knows how powerful he could become as a Darksider.
Maul definitely would have had the power to take on the Emperor like he wanted to.
Right.
Things would that would have been interesting to see that whole power dynamic of Maul again raising his army and his power. And this time, the Emperor wouldn't be so.
You got to think the Death Star
Wouldn't be so
wasn't
easy
built
for
yet.
him.
So
it wasn't finished.
I don't think anything. I'm not sure defensive capabilities of this temple or whatever, but what could really stand up to it if it can just destroy worlds and stuff like that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean, no, at least on paper, no fleet could stand up to it. Plus, Maul right now is still the leader of the Mandalorians, even though like he sort of just was like left or whatever. He still has a dark saber, and he'd probably still win against in a fight against any of them who's claiming to be top person or whatever.
Yeah. Technically,
Yeah.
he's the leader.
But they're all, not to interrupt you, but they're all about honor and everything. So if he goes over the dark saber, and they're gonna be like, okay, we don't like it, but you did fight our leader before, you won. Unless someone challenges them, which you'd probably win anyway because it's small.
Yeah.
Rules like that are stupid.
How dare you have honor?
That's
No,
dumb.
I mean like, but like, fight over who's gonna be leader. That's how you choose. Whoever gets the, I don't know. It's. I think there should be a better criteria
Like a voting?
of qualifications. To what? What did you say?
Like voting?
Voting.
Yeah,
Oh,
like something simple.
The Republic worked out great. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like a republic. That would have been nice with some voting and.
But that's
whatnot.
that's what they're all about. Those honor and friggin' fighting and their prowess in battle and all that stuff. So
I gotta say, as much as I love Mandalorian, heritage and legacy, their track record of picking leaders is not good because I guess this is legacy now. Basically, if a Mandalore, or the leader of the Mandalorians, which they call Mandalore, if he dies, he or she dies, whoever finds his or her helmet gets to be leader. Well,
That's just luck.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? Why? Because you accidentally kicked over a fucking helmet.
Yeah.
You get to be in charge. Yeah. That doesn't necessarily make you have the qualifications to be a leader, good or bad.
Right.
Well, that's what concerns me with Darth Maul. Let's paint the scenario that, Ezra turns to the dark side and they take over, the Empire or whatever. Is he a good leader? You know what I mean? Like, I always see him as just like he is a Sith, but he's a Sith assassin.
Right.
If anything else. He doesn't have the brain capacity of Sidious,
No,
or even
not.
Vader for that.
He's
You know,
definitely
he's
not
not
a
a-
wheels within wheels guy.
Right.
He's like, I'm gonna show up, I'm gonna tell you I'm taking over, and if you have any problems, I'm gonna kill your leaders and take over. Anyway.
Yeah.
'Cause that's exactly what he did.
Exactly.
So yeah, I agree
There's
with
no
you.
other plan beyond that. It's just I'm gonna take over.
Yeah.
And
He's
I'll
definitely-
I
figure
mean,
it out.
in reality, I don't even think he wanted the Empire. Like, he wanted to kill Sidious and he wanted to kill Obi-Wan.
Oh yeah.
So once those two things were complete, like, would he just be like, whatever. I'm
He's a
satisfied.
Sith. He's a Sith though, but so he's gonna want power.
Right.
So he's gonna fill in the vacuum that's left after that.
Is that what he meant when he said to Obi-Wan, he will avenge us? Like, basically Luke will kill Palpatine.
Right.
Mm. Yeah.
Is that what he was talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I that left me a little lost. He'll avenge us. What do you mean us? What are you talking about? I don't know.
Because he fucked Obi-Wan,
But
obviously,
he
too.
must be.
So.
He must be talking about Palpatine now that I think about it.
And
Yeah.
Vader, too, obviously.
And like when you put it like that, I can't help but think, yeah, if Maul shows up at the Mandalorians with the sword, then yeah, and that super weapon. That does jive. I don't see why they wouldn't. Like he's got the sword. He beat, just like you said, he beat their leader in battle.
Right.
And
They all knelt down to him and everything, so...
He's got that big giant super weapon. I'm sure there are a lot of Mandalorians, that would be like, yeah, seems like a good way to fucking get back on track and be the big dog in the galaxy.
Right.
The big swinging dick.
Yeah. And the only thing that's going to make a difference, maybe against Maul and his weapon, is just the numbers factor. The Empire's got numbers.
Yeah.
They got a fleet of ships. They got way more troops. I mean, even though this thing can blow up planets and shit.
And now it's a three-way. Now there's three factions. There's Maul's faction, there's the Empire, and the Rebellion.
Yeah.
Right. And obviously the Rebellion would be against Maul and everything, too.
With Ezra at his side, would it?
It's a good question.
I don't see why not. I mean, you see Kanan get pissed multiple times
Yeah.
because he's even flirting with the dark side.
Would they consider him like a Saul Guerrera type of entity, Well, we're not dealing with,
Or he could play double
You got to
agent.
think, too, Ezra knows about Yavin, that he had, not at that time, but he knows a lot of the Rebellion secrets and stuff, so he could just be like, let's blow up this planet, this is where the Rebellion is,
Yeah.
this is what Phoenix Squadron is, whatever, so they could have, he could have blew up that planet that they were on, Chopper Base or whatever, before, what's his name, Thrawn gets there.
Right.
Or, if you want to even the numbers game, you could basically threaten the Rebellion. I could destroy all of you with this weapon, or you fight for us against the Empire. Could do that. I don't know how that would play out, but...
Yeah, I don't think they would.
Yeah,
then
I
they'd be
think
blown up.
Yeah, well,
I
So-
think Ezra would have some conflicting emotions about destroying the Rebellion
Right.
and his friends. But it would be some interesting interactions
Yeah,
to see how that would play out. Because obviously, if Ezra is working with Maul but has a superpower weapon, I don't see why he wouldn't go to the Rebellion. Like, dude, this is what we needed the whole time.
Right.
We're gonna win. It's not even gonna be a problem.
No, you could do it and keep Maul in the background like they do with Palpatine in the prequels and how they're doing with Snoke. Is that, basically I found this weapon on my own, but it was really with Maul. And there's a different agenda. But you could go to the Rebellion and say, hey, we have the means to do this now. Wipe out the Empire.
Totally have the means to do it, yeah.
And then it's almost the same scenario as when Palpatine took over the Republic. Maul can just come out of the shadows and say, hey, this is my fucking show now.
But the whole thing with this temple was it needed to do everything. Open it, go up to levels, even open the crystal at the end or whatever. So I'm wondering if Maul would have to be there to do the constant 2 thing, because that's
he
the,
would probably
the whole
have to,
Sith.
yeah.
So, of course, it's just what if, and who knows, but
What if?
stuff did stuff, that other
Right.
stuff happened. So that's
I
pretty
got
interesting.
too close. I started looking like a Terminator.
What if Terminator was in Star Wars?
Right?
I did it once during the show, too.
Whoa, scary.
Right here. Oh, in my hand, too.
No, don't show what you have under your skin. What are you doing?
This is like the movie They Live.
We are living that. Is correct.
Yeah,
That's a
wow.
good point.
Thanks.
So that's all I have, you guys. You guys have anything else want to bring up or talk about?
I think
No, I'm just fucking anticipating this damn movie to come out. I took the
Yes.
whole fucking day out of work. Yes, this isn't my full-time job. And,
What?
yeah, I'm just fucking anticipating this shit.
By the way, talking about the movie, we might do a Periscope before the movie and then come back to this studio that we have. It's wonderful. if you could see it, you'd be very impressed. And do like
Not in a good way.
right after movie reaction sort of thing.
Right.
So stay tuned for that.
Right.
Maybe. We'll see. It could happen. There's a possibility. This guy's not coming. He's fired from this free show.
That doesn't pay him.
He won't be making anything anymore from this show.
My first wife Steve wants to. We have like a thing where we go see the new Star Wars movies together. So I just got to figure out the logistics of how I'm going to do that.
We'll see. So that's our plan. Obviously, is a
Our
few
plan
weeks
is
away.
not to have a plan.
Yeah. The plan is we're not planning to do anything.
Right.
So we have a few weeks to figure it out, but comment, email, what do you guys think about that? We've got a lot of feedback so far from Bobby. That's about it. But if you want to, there is ways to do it.
Aha.
So, yeah. Very impressive.
So what's up with that Portuguese chicken on that little cup over there?
That is not in camera, but now it will be. That
This
is
Portuguese
from...
chicken.
Is it green?
It's a rooster.
Portugal. Oh, I love it.
It's from that... Remember that lady that came over here that interrupted us?
What lady?
She's
The weird-
Portuguese.
Oh, really?
That one with like the head in the space and stuff. That lady. So that's actually hers.
Wow, Portugal.
It's impressive.
Is it from Portugal?
So your
It's
kids have Portuguese
from-
DNA? Maybe there's hope.
Huh.
A new hope, actually.
A new hope.
A new home.
Yeah.
All right.
I knew hope to think you're getting fucked over everything. With that, we're going to end the show. Thank you for watching or listening. Or
Seacrest out.
Seacrest.
Don't ever say that again.
Kilo Ren out.
That's what's under his balls is Seacrest. Right. That's what he calls the crust of the leg. That's his metal leg. Farewell. Thank you for watching. Listening.
Bye.